Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading for September. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Linda. Please join me while I shuffle and send your energy into the cards so I can get really clear messages that are tailored for you. We're going to do a general energy transmission for anyone under the influence of the Taurian signature. So that would include, of course, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or if you're cross-watching for a person of interest, you might also find some insight here. Ask your guides and your higher self as well to be present here for this reading and to pass along any messages through me that will be supportive and helpful in your current situation. I'm going to pull a second spread later on in the reading, so make sure you stay through to the end. I'm going to take another deck and give another layer to your spread to give additional insight on karmic and spiritual forces that may be at play. So stay through to the end for that as well. Let's get started. The Eight of Wands is in reverse at the bottom of the deck. A lot of major arcana cards coming out for you, Taurus. All right. This is a very interesting reading. What I'm feeling here in this energy is quite a few things. It's like my first impression is that there's a very interesting intersection right now for you between the mystical and the esoteric and the mundane daily life. I mean, there always is, and it's especially true for Taurus people, but everybody at all times, there is that intersection between the esoteric and metaphysical and the daily mundane reality. But there is something here that's particularly interesting to note in this spread. Like, as I said, there's a lot of major arcana cards in this reading. At the heart of the spread is the World card, and it's crossed by the Devil in reverse. And then the crowning card is the High Priestess. You have also the World in your reading in reverse in the outcome. The Lovers is also here in the outcome position as well. So how I'm feeling this is that was that way. Things are changing, and it seems to be happening pretty quickly, but it's like the what's that expression I just heard? A 10-year overnight success, something like that. This is not necessarily about like recognition or some kind of public success, as that expression usually belongs to that kind of context. But what I'm feeling here is that you've been calling in some particular changes, or you have had intentional energy focused towards specific desires or things that you wish to manifest for some time. That energy has been at play, and for some of you, there may be some things that you've been seeking to invoke into life, into manifestation, into physical reality, into being for a really long time. And it may seem like you're waiting for a really long time. But now I feel like all of a sudden something is showing up. And that's where I feel like that 10 years overnight success is coming in. It's not about a success in a sense of like some kind of financial reward or recognition or something like that. It's more like you've been having your energy very specifically pointed and channeled in a specific direction for a while. And it may not have seemed like anything was happening, but I feel like something is suddenly showing up. And it's the energy I'm getting in this reading is that you may not have been aware actually that as much as you've been, like I said, pointing your energy, pointing your intentions in a specific direction for a long time, unconsciously, you've actually been pushing back against exactly the things that you want on an energetic level. And that's perhaps why it's taking so long, or it has taken so long, for something to show up in your life that you've been wanting for a long time. Now, for some of you, the pushback has been more like something that you have had a hard time letting go of. And again, a lot of this energy that I'm feeling in this particular, the essence of what I'm talking about right now is a lot of unconscious energy. It's obviously it's in your subconscious, because obviously you wouldn't seek to manifest something and then resist it. Nobody would do that intentionally, but that seems like what has been happening here. And there's been also this hurry up and wait energy as well with all of that. So you've been very patient, sort of. Knight of Pentacles is in reverse here with the Eight of Cups in reverse. This is in the quadrant of how you see yourself right now. So it's like you've been patiently determined, patiently consistent, patiently, moving in a specific direction, while at the same time unconsciously not letting go of something, or not being available to something, or not like these two quadrants are kind of saying the same thing. This is how you see yourself right now. Eight of Cups reversed, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and this is the energy in your environment. But I feel like this is all you right now. So the Eight of Cups reversed with Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the Seven of Wands upright with Ten of Wands reversed. It's almost the same thing. You've been patiently waiting, or patiently, being consistent about your energy, but at the same time, you've been resistant to what actually wants to come towards you, and you've also been avoiding letting go of something else that you need to let go of. So it's a very interesting mixed energy that is consciously saying one thing but unconsciously doing another. And so there's the energy that causes a delay to occur because you're fundamentally not having all the parts working together. So I feel like there's something happening in your energy that right now that's helping you shift your awareness to be able to realize that maybe you have actually been resistant to something, that you have been resistant to the things you want, or you have been unconsciously holding back, or you've been also unconsciously not letting go of something, and that all those things combined equal the inability to be able to receive something new that you want, or for something to come into your energy field, because there's all this energy going on of you being kind of still stuck up in the past, or caught up in what you are unable to let go of that you haven't actually been fully aware of yet. Now, what else is here? So what I feel with all that is that all of that's about to change. All of that's about to change. I feel like, as I said, there's a growing awareness in your energy that there is something that maybe hasn't... It's like a tipping point. You're arriving at this tipping point where the grip of something from the past doesn't hold you anymore, and your ability to open to the present and therefore the future is expanding. And what that enables, or what that totals, is a new beginning, a new chapter, a new start. For some of you, it's a new partnership. For some of you, it's a new type of work. Some of you might be moving home. There's also energy around home and environment here as well. But there's a change coming. And it's something that you're actually able to participate in more fully. You've been invoking it for a long time. There's 2 tens in the reading, as well as the Wheel of Fortune. So that's 3 tens. So there's definitely closure. And there's also the World in the upright position at the heart of the reading. So there's definitely a cycle culminating here. And for some of you, it's a very long one. There's definitely a closure here to a long-reaching arc of something that has been very high on your priorities, or high on your bucket list, let's say, of something that you've been really desiring and seeking to experience, or to explore, or to uncover or discover. But there's been like a long waiting period for this particular desire to actually show up and manifest. But it's because you've been getting your house in order. It hasn't been wasted time. Don't feel bad. Don't judge yourself for being in this space that I described earlier, where you haven't actually been able to let go of something, or you've been resisting the very thing that you wanted. It's been by design. Nothing's wasted. You've been working on your craft. You've been cultivating your own self-confidence. You've been cultivating your practices, whatever they are, with the High Priestess as the crowning energy here. I feel like for a lot of you, you've definitely been in a very deep evolutionary developmental stage of life, where you've been exploring your mysticism, your magic, your priestess nature, developing your intuition, cultivating your connection with your higher self and with the other entities in the universe that you work with, that cooperate with you, that collaborate with you, that support you, that you support as well. It's 2 ways. So the point of all this, I feel, is that it's about time. It's about this time here for you to understand that You are in a very good place in yourself developmentally to awaken and open to this other energy that you've actually been wanting to experience, and that in order for you to make space for that to become accessible by you, there's just that like little bit of housekeeping required, that level of awareness required to know what it is, and to know also that it's the right time. That's what I also feel the Wheel of Fortune is saying here. It's the right time. It's the right time to move on. It's the right time to let go. It's the right time to shift gears. The Wheel of Fortune and the World together is very interesting because they're kind of similar energies. There's definitely like a cyclic energy to both of these cards. The archetypes are... well, what's interesting is there's also the colors too that are similar. You can see in both of these cards there's this purple sash that's kind of running through, and the blue as well. So the World card, let's talk a little bit astrologically. I'm not an astrologer, but from an archetypal perspective, on an energetic level, the World card is actually governed by the planet Saturn. So all the four quadrants of this card have got images of the four fixed signs. And then the Wheel of Fortune is actually governed by Jupiter. So it's completely different energy. One is very constrictive. It's about discipline and developing integrity and power, also constraint a little bit as well. And the other one is about expanding and evolving and exploring and exponentiating energy. But the point I was going to make about the World, and interestingly, the World is crossed by the Devil card, which is also a Saturnian energy. So the point is that there's this. It's almost like the desire that you've had, or the intention that you'd set a long time ago that we've been talking about, is something that you really want. But by the same hand, you've been resistant to it because you know on a certain level that in order to accept that which you have been seeking to manifest, it's going to require a lot of discipline. It's going to require some compromise. It's going to require some limitation, right? That's all of the things that Saturn and the World card and the Devil card all kind of encompass. It's like, in order to live on Earth and be humans, we have to accept a lot of restriction and limitation because we have to be in a physical body, and that has a lot of restriction and limitation inherent in it. But in order to experience human existence, that's the deal we make. That's the compromise we make, because we know that that's the only way we can have this experience. And so it's that kind of energy. There's limitations that come along with what it is that you want to experience, and you choose to accept those limitations in order to have the experience that you're seeking. Okay? So it's like now you've arrived at this point where you've actually fully come to accept that you are aware that in order to get what you want, or in order to experience what you've been intentionally setting out to get, there are some compromises that you need to make, or there is some limitation that you need to tolerate in order to have that experience. And so that's what this energy is in this reading fundamentally. There's this balance between understanding that in order to get what you want, there is some compromise or limitation that you have to experience or accept in order to have the experience that you're seeking. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. All right, Eight of Wands reversed. There's the Judgment card. Ace of Cups upright. Emperor upright. There's also the Nine of Pentacles here. I'm going to pull that into the reading because it's one of my favorite cards and I feel like I want it to be part of this reading. So this is basically covering what I've just described there, like the Eight of Wands is talking about some delay. Judgment card is the revelation or the realization, that which I've already been describing. The Ace of Cups is talking about that uprising or the upwelling of unconditional love and awareness that you've come to through this at this exact moment. All of that awareness is available to you, and so that is what the Ace of Cups is describing, is that moment of revelation with the Judgment card. And the acceptance, Ace of Cups, is the acceptance of the realization or the truth that you've become aware of now as all the factors fall into place and your level of awareness matches that which is available to you. And then there's the Emperor. So for some of you, I do feel like this is a new relationship, especially with the Ace of Cups. The Emperor could describe the person or the situation that is becoming available, and it's something very stable, it's something very fiery, it's very passionate. There's the Lovers here as well. It's very independent also with the Nine of Pentacles. There's this level of what I'm feeling with the Emperor and the Nine of Nine of Pentacles here, kind of describing this in the outcome of the reading. It's like this energy of your availability to this love offer or this partnership. It could be business as well. It doesn't have to be romance if that's not where you're at, if you're not single. So if you are available to like a new partnership and you're open to this kind of offer that's coming here with the Ace of Cups towards the Lovers, there's something about how profoundly prepared you are for this moment, because you've been spending your time cultivating this high priestess energy, cultivating your personal practices, working on your self-love. That's what I was talking about earlier. It hasn't been wasted time at all. It's been very valuable, and you've been very diligent and patient and loyal and dedicated to your own awareness and awakening, growing, and you've been putting the energy into that, cultivating and crafting your own awareness, so that you're now actually very ready to accept the limitation that's being applied by accepting the offer of love with another person. And that's why the Ten of Swords is there with the Lovers too. It's like it's sort of the end of, or the death of, the life that you've known as this very independent person. Nine of Pentacles, also Nine of Cups in the reading, right? This independent energy is kind of, you're shifting out of this cycle now, out of this cycle of independence and self-orientation and individuation, and moving into a space now where you accept that there's going to be some constriction and some limitation in order to have the experience of this divine union. Are you following? Right? But because you have been in such a diligent practice over the last time, months, years, however it is, lifetimes, you're in the space now where you can create a union with another person who's also very established, very regal in their own right, very cultivating their own, having done the same, like you guys have been on your own path independently, but very much in alignment. There's a parallel, right? So when you do come together and create a union like this, there is the ability to have that independent sovereignty that keeps you in your like unconditional self-love, so that you're available to this ever more profound and expansive energy of divine union with another person, because you stay in the self-love space, and then union forms after that. It's not like you are missing something and seeking that out in another person. I hope this is making sense. So this is very exciting. It's very exciting. It's also, I also feel like it's kind of a nervous energy in there as well. I'm also a Taurus, so this reading is for me too. There is that like, I feel the energy of these two cards very strongly, this resistance, you know, even though it is what you want, even though it is what I want, I still feel this energy of like the inertia of holding back a little bit, because of like the unknown territory that it means going into, because of the restriction and limitation and compromise that's involved. But in order to get where you're going, that is par for the course. And so it's in that space of accepting the factors that are at play that you then reveal your availability to that energy, and it makes itself known. Taurus, I hope this is making sense. I'd say the only advice I would give here for this reading is to be aware of your resistance, because I think some of you might not actually be aware that you have been, you're like, where is this manifestation? Where is it? I've been working on this for such a long, I've been calling this in for so long. You need to be aware that your energy has been exhibiting some resistance in it. And in your awareness to that, you can kind of talk yourself down a little bit, or at least kind of provide some soothing reassurance to yourself that it's okay to let go. It's okay to accept and become aware that you are resistant. And in that acceptance of your resistance and acknowledgement of it, that will also help to meter it and to temper it and help it become a little bit eased and loosen the grip it has over you and in your circumstance. All right. I feel like I pretty much said everything that there is here to say. Just checking over. Yeah. Don't be afraid to let go of the past. Don't be afraid to move on. It's important for you to do that in order to become, as I've said over and over in this reading, available to the energy that is presenting here. And funny energy I can't put my finger on. It's really interesting in this reading that we have both the Six of Wands and the Nine of Cups in reverse. Both of these cards for me are about self-confidence, success, self-love. So it's kind of weird to me that they're both here in reverse, because I feel like there's some message there that I'm not totally getting about what it is that is holding you back. Maybe you're kind of unconsciously or subconsciously still not really fully self-confident enough to believe that someone will show up for you in the way that you need or want or deserve. And that's the fear. That's what's causing the resistance, or that's what's you're kind of pushing out energetically into the world, that's kind of creating this like film or this barrier between you and an individual who is actually quite in alignment with you. So tune into that. I'm not sure if that's for everyone. That could just be someone like needing to have that little bit of nudge given to them. Just see if there's something there that you can do with that information if it's your message. Now, I feel like that's it for this part of the reading. I'm going to move on now and take the Voyager deck and give your higher octave reading. So once again, tune in with me while I'm shuffling. Send your energy into the deck so I can get really clear messages that are tailored and relevant for you. We're going to look at any karmic and spiritual forces that might be at play. We're going to look for any blind spots that we can illuminate to shed more light on your current situation, to make sure that you're getting the most out of the opportunities that are presenting, the lessons that are showing up for you, and in order for you to grow as much as you can. So let's take one more shuffle and we'll get started. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Six of Pentacles reverse. We had that here in the Hopes and Fears. The Fool is the crossing card. Eight of Wands in reverse. That's the same card we've had there now, so that's showing up twice. It's also in reverse. Sage of Wands reversed. Sage of Cups. Child of Wands. There's the Lovers in reverse. Two of Cups. So, yeah. Eight of Crystals. The Priestess. There we go again. Ten of Pentacles reversed. The Star. Nice. Empress. Wow. And Four of Wands. A lot of major arcana energy in this reading again. Lovers. Empress. The Star. The Fool. A High Priestess. Interesting. It's really interesting that you have, like, there's a lot of divine feminine energy here with the Priestess, the Empress, and the Star. They're all very like divine feminine for me, and with slightly different archetypal energies, but quite similar as well. You know, there's like that earthly divine feminine energy, and then there's like a kind of very occultic, mystic feminine energy, and then there's like a really sort of androgynous, actually, neutral energy from the Star, which is very cosmic and very illuminating and very hopeful and unconditionally loving and compassionate. So there's a lot of energy influencing you at this time in this reading. That I feel like this spread is giving a lot of energy from like your higher self that is connected to your spiritual team, that is very highly vibrating. Like the frequency is very high, and there's it's like a push to really heal some deep fundamental things that you've been seeking to uncover or explore or awaken to for some time. And for some of you that means multiple lifetimes. There's something specific in this reading that feels like the very old threads of growing to awareness about certain things about you specifically that you really have been seeking to awaken to and release, so that you can get there's a kind of urgent need for liberation in some particular areas right now. And when I say urgent, it means it's not necessarily like time sensitive, although it is. I don't know how to say that. I just mean to say that, like, there is an availability. I mean, it's something you've been, your soul's journey since the beginning of your existence has been seeking to evolve to the point right now where the availability that you have is presenting to become aware of this specific thing. That's very convoluted and vague and abstract thing to say. It's just that, like, right now there's a lot of factors coming together cosmically, energetically, and also from the perspective of the Terra, from Earth, from Gaia, where that connection between cosmic and Earth energy is lined up so that awareness can be experienced or collected or gathered by you about this particular thing. And so it's really important that, again, you are aware enough of that so that you can become available to the information that is showing up. Now, but with regard to how this layer, this reading relates to the general reading, the first layer, because there is a lot of repeating cards, and there is the Lovers, there is the Priestess again, there is, like, that Eight of Wands reverse, which is, again, significant. It is kind of repeating in the same regard of those particular messages. And there is the energy as well in this reading of, I mean, you know, the Saturnian energy feels also kind of strong, showing in this reading again. So I think this is just about you becoming aware that it is time for you to break through of your own limitations and seek to awaken to the revelations that you're receiving now about your own self, so that you can enjoy and endure. That's an interesting phrase that's just coming through. There is this energy of, because of the Saturnian influence of that restriction and limitation that I talked about earlier, there is an energy about, like, endurance that's coming through. But there's also an energy here that is like, it's like the polarity of that. It's like, in order to enjoy, you must endure. And in order to endure, then you can enjoy. So play with that if that's sort of resonating for you and making some sense. I'm going to leave it here for now. That was just an introduction to this higher octave spread. It feels like it's going to go in a very cosmic area. So if any of that resonates for you and you're interested to hear the rest of the interpretation, click the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell. I will see you in the next reading.